So, good morning, and thank you all for joining us today. My name is Alexandra Silversmith, and I'm the Executive Director of the Alliance for Coney Island. Before we begin, I want to acknowledge all the advocacy that has been done by our elected officials, Borough President Eric Adams, Councilmember Mark Traeger, State Senator Diane Savino, and Jessica Spantone, who has joined us from her office, and Community Board 13, as well as Congressman Jeffries. They have advocated for the ferry, but unfortunately our fight continues. We are gathered here at this particular location on the boardwalk as community leaders, businesses, and residents representing Coney Island and our surrounding neighborhoods like Seagate to join together and advocate for NYC ferry service as ferries pass us by in the background. Last year, Mayor de Blasio came to Coney Island, and he promised to include Coney Island in the next round of ferry study locations. To date, there has unfortunately been no official announcement that Coney Island will be included. Late last month, EDC released an open call to the public so that they could submit locations for ferry service, and we believe this is our opportunity for our voices to be heard. We must make it clear to the city that ferry service is critical for Coney Island. We stand here as a community in dire need of transit alternatives, a community with some of the longest commute times in New York City, as well as being a major tourism destination. We are home to a variety of cultural and entertainment institutions like the New York Aquarium, like the Brooklyn Cyclones, Dino's Wonder Wheel, Luna Park, and Nathan's, and an abundance of small businesses. All of us are standing here today, as well as being a community of 50,000 of residents, all of whom feel forgotten. While much of Brooklyn's waterfront has ferry service, we have been overlooked. So we stand here united to ask all Coney Islanders, all local businesses, all Brooklynites, and supporters of this iconic community to join us in advocating for the city's next phase of ferry studies to include Coney Island and for the city to make good on its promise. I'd like to call up two individuals, one who represents our largest cultural institution here in Coney Island, and the other representing one of the many residents standing behind us, to join us in this call to action for the city. So first, I'd like to call up Kamali Zaire, who will say a few words.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kamali Zaire, and I'm a longtime resident of Coney Island. I'm out here today to let everyone know, the mayor, EDC, that we need a ferry service here in Coney Island. Right now, we need a Coney Island ferry service. The transportation service here is not that great, and the community is getting larger and larger by the day. So we need to get in and out another way. So today I'm with all these residents and businesses that we need the ferry service. Mayor de Blasio, are you listening? EDC? We need it now. Right. Okay.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to call up the director of the New York Aquarium, John Dolan.
Thank you. So look at the water behind us. Look at this city of islands. Look at the ferries that go past Coney Island to the Rockaways, and ask yourself, how did we get here in the first place? The establishment of this iconic destination was based on ferry service out here. We know it can be done. The public and private partnership that has gone into building this economic base needs to be serviced by viable transportation alternatives. We need that ferry service. We need all of New York, not just Coney Island, not just Brooklyn, but all of New York to go to the portal and enter Coney Island into that portal as the most needed ferry service in the city of New York. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, John. So as John just mentioned, in closing, I ask that all who wish to advocate with us and the numerous stakeholders standing beside me to visit allianceforconeyisland.org/ferry-service to link to the city's portal and submit Coney Island as a location to study before the portal closes next Friday, October 15th. Thank you so much.
Ferry service now! Ferry service now! When do we want it?
questions from the press? Yes, sir.
What are some of the reasons EDC is given for not having service here so far?
Honestly, when they first released the first phase of locations, Coney Island was on the map and it was removed. There was never, as far as I know, any true reason given. So I can't say. That would be a question for EDC.
And where would the potential ferry land?
That is up to the city to study. There are several locations, and we're really just advocating for that study to happen and take place rather than advocating for a specific location. We know it's feasible, so we want it to happen next year.
How long is the commute time from here to other parts of say Lower Manhattan?
Yeah, so to just Lower Manhattan, it's at least an hour. That's on a good day. That's if the trains run properly, and that doesn't. That's basically from the train station. Many of the residents standing behind me live 20, 30 blocks from the train station, so it's at least an hour 15 and an hour 30. And we have a lot of infrastructure happening right now in the street, so it's a long commute. Anything else?
What was the most recent update, if there has been? What have they told you? What have you been there?
In some reports and interviews, EDC's president has said that Coney Islands would be included, but there has been no official statement made by the official organization, EDC, or the City Hall that it would be included. So that's the latest, and the portal opened, and it just asks for a call for any neighborhood to submit.
When did the portal open?
September, there's a week of September, I think it's September 17th or 18th. Are there any other questions? No. Thank you
you all for
guys.
coming out
Thank you so
today.
much.